All right, just a few hours ago, 35 Republicans joined with the rest of the House Democrats to vote in favor of the January 6th commission. House Representatives voted 252 to 175 on Wednesday to pass a bill to set up a bipartisan 9/11 style commission to investigate the deadly January 6th Capitol riots. Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and the GOP leadership opposed the commission, but 35 House Republicans have voted in support of the bill, underscoring the fault lines within the party in the aftermath of the insurrection. The amount, those 35 House Republicans, they understand history and don't want to be on the wrong side of it. Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and GOP leadership, oh, I already read that part, sorry. The amount of Republican support makes it far more difficult for Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to try to dismiss the commission outright as a partisan effort. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has promised the bill will get a vote, but it is still unclear how many Republicans will get on board. I'm not sure that it is going to get any in the Senate. Do you get Collins or Murkowski to vote? I don't think so. I don't think it has any Republican support. What do you guys think? McConnell told fellow Republicans Tuesday he could not support the agreement in its current form. Two sources familiar with his remarks told Axios. And he formally announced his opposition from the Senate floor on Wednesday. 10 GOP senators are needed for the proposal to pass. The creation of the commission has been delayed for months because Republicans have insisted its scope should be expanded to include violence by far-left protesters last summer. McCarthy has argued it would be duplicative and potentially counterproductive because Congress and the federal government are carrying out other investigations into the riot. Many Republicans are concerned the bill will be weaponized to subpoena members and could alienate members of the GOP base as well as former President Trump, who was impeached by the House for inciting the riot. House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Bernie Thompson announced last week that negotiations had reached an agreement with Rep. John Katko on the commission. Katko is one of 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach Trump in the aftermath of January 6th. Said that the 10-person bipartisan commission will be charged with studying the facts and circumstances of the January 6th attack on the Capitol, as well as the influencing factors that may have provoked the attack on our democracy. It will have subpoena power. Based on the legislation passed by the House, the commission will be required to issue a final report with findings and recommendations to prevent future attacks on democratic institutions. Got a deadline of December 31st, 2021. Former President Trump, who was impeached by the House, criticized the commission in a statement on Tuesday and urged House and Senate Republicans to not support what he called a Democrat trap. House Whip Steny Hoyer told reporters the House would pursue a select committee of some kind, even if the commission does not pass the Senate. So if you want to check out who voted for it from the Republican side, Axios has the list. Now, McCarthy's opposition to the bill is odd given the fact that Democrats granted all the concessions that he wanted. The House Rules Committee is considering the legislation during a hearing on Tuesday. And a vote on the House floor is expected Wednesday. It passed. House Minority Whip Steve Scalise announced Tuesday that Republican leadership will urge their members to vote against the bill A House GOP leadership aide told CBS News earlier this week it would not be whipping against the bill to create a commission. Police said in a memo to Republicans that the scope of the bill was too narrow and had the potential to interfere with other ongoing investigations. Now, this is something I saw somebody mention on Twitter. How hard it is to combat the fact that all the Republicans say the same thing all the time. That's how they convince their dumb fuck supporters to go along with. Because that's one of the... You have an argument with a right-winger, they'll bring up like common sense and everything, and it's just because like the same shit has been beat into their head nonstop because Republicans just say the same things. These little bumper sticker phrases that they've trained their idiot-ass supporters to follow. It's possible that McCarthy himself would be called as a witness by a commission investigating the attack. Details of a phone call between McCarthy and Mr. Trump on January 6 while the riot was ongoing emerged in February. Many House Republicans have sought to downplay the attack. I was really wanting to get into the fact that McCarthy reneged on their concessions, because I thought that's what this story got into, but it didn't. Kind of just rehashing the shit that we already know. Representative Tim Ryan was on the House floor earlier and ripped into Republicans.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 30 seconds to the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Ryan.
Gentleman is recognized for 30 seconds.
I want to thank the gentleman from New York and the other Republicans who are supporting this and thank them for their bipartisanship. To the other 90% of our friends on the other side of the aisle, holy cow.
His tie makes me want to say that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Anyway, take it away,
Republicans who are supporting this and thank them for their bipartisanship. To the other 90% of our friends on the other side of the aisle, holy cow. Incoherence. No idea what you're talking about. Benghazi, you guys chased the former Secretary of State all over the country, spent millions of dollars. We have people scaling the Capitol,
they did.
hitting the Capitol Police with lead pipes across the head, and we can't get bipartisanship. What else has to happen in this country? Cops. This is a slap in the face to every rank and file cop in the United States. If we're going to take on China, if we're going to rebuild the country, if we're going to reverse climate change, we need.
If you're trying to sell me, you did the wrong thing. Because if it's a slap in the face to every cop in the United States, then I change my position. I oppose you, Representative Ryan. I would like to slap the face of every cop in America. That would make me incredibly happy. My birthday's coming up. Somebody get that for me for my birthday.
In the United States, if we're going to take on China, if we're going to rebuild the country, if we're going to reverse climate change, we need two political parties in this country that are both living in reality. And
I think we need 8 political parties, to be honest with you. 10, 12, 14.
Members are reminded to direct their comments to the chair. The gentleman from Mississippi reserves. The gentleman from New York is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I ask that we all take a deep breath.
How are you going to follow that, motherfucker, you little timid ass? Seriously, follow Representative Ryan.
Right now. And everybody breathe for a minute.
Yes, for a moment of zen.
Stop the theatrics. And everybody stop the arguments that are not relevant to this issue. This is a very solemn moment. We're here to talk about something that's very important to the entire of our government.
Yeah, you and your party being traitors to the country.
And I ask that we think about the officers and their families and conduct ourselves accordingly. I reserve the balance.
Would you like to hear from one of the officers? I can pull him up. Officer Fanone or Farone? He's had some choice words for people like you, sir. Alleged Capitol rioter busted after forcing dentist office to watch dumb riot videos. Oh, hold on, I gotta reset it. Right-wingers are morons. There you can see the picture of the suspect. Daniel Warmus was arrested in Buffalo, New York on Tuesday and charged with multiple counts, including violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds in connection with the Capitol riot on January 6th. 6 days after the attack, the FBI said it received a tip that Warmus was apparently overheard talking about his involvement in the riot at his dentist's office. While at the dentist, Warmus allegedly bragged that he smoked weed while inside the Capitol building, according to a statement of fact that the FBI filed in court. Warmus allegedly also said he refused to leave the Capitol when asked by a police officer, and played a video at his dentist's office that he took while inside the Capitol building, though the tipster didn't see the video, according to the affidavit. There we have a picture of him. It looks like he's next to the Washington Monument. I can't tell, but that looks like the Washington Monument behind him. The flag that says "Fuck Antifa." It is not clear who the tipster is, but the person apparently passed along Warmus's phone number and home address to law enforcement, according to the affidavit. During the riot, a man that the FBI has identified as Warmus wore a sweatshirt with the phrase "CNN is fake news," a Trump 2020 hat, carried a flag that said "Fuck Antifa." A man matching Warmus's description was also captured on surveillance footage inside of the Capitol building during the riot. FBI carried out a search warrant for Warmus's phone records through Verizon and say that cell tower signals show Warmus's phone in the vicinity of the Capitol on January 6th. Warmus's next appearance in court is May 24th. More than 400 people have been charged in connection with the Capitol riot on January 6th. And apparently, the DOJ says they are still going strong and have many more people to arrest. One of the first people that they arrested, though, pretty easy to figure out why when you're incredibly well known on the internet and you're wearing an outlandish outfit that got everybody talking about, specifically you and your fucking bearskin rug that you were wearing on your head. It's no wonder he was one of the first arrested. The QAnon shaman's lawyer had some funny things to say in court. Oh no, it wasn't actually in court. My bad. I'm sorry. Speaking to Talking Points Memo, the lawyer for Jacob Chansley, I thought his name was Jake and Jelly. My bad. Oh, I guess that was one of his aliases, Jake and Jelly. Jacob Chansley, also known as the QAnon shaman, said that the upside to including Donald Trump in his client's defense is that it could get him less time behind bars. Legally, these are unprecedented cases, attorney Albert Watkins told TPM. And as a result, while the judge may not be compelled to emotionally embrace, as a matter of opinion, the effect or the impact of the words and actions of the former president as being a cause, there is going to necessarily be a legal compulsion to address that reality as part of an evaluation of culpability. Watkins went on to say that Chansley has Asperger's syndrome, and his mental state, as well as Trump's propaganda efforts, could shave time off his client's case. I know plenty of people with Asperger's, and they do not behave like the QAnon shaman. Please do not blame it on the Asperger's. Also, I'm getting ready to quote him, and his quote is a little crude. So, content warning fuckers. It's kind of ableist. Twitch, please don't give me a TOS on this one. So, the lawyer for the QAnon shaman said, a lot of these defendants, and I'm going to use this colloquial term, perhaps disrespectfully, but they're all fucking short bus people, Watkins told TPM. These are people with brain damage, they're fucking retarded, they're on the goddamn spectrum. But there are brothers, our sisters, our neighbors, our co-workers, they're part of our country, he added. These aren't bad people, they don't have prior criminal history. Fuck. They were subjected to 4+ years goddamn propaganda, the likes of which the world has not seen since fucking Hitler. And that's one of the things that when you argue with a right winger and you're talking about the insurrection, they always want to bring up, well, did they succeed in hanging Mike Pence? Were they violent? Did they kill anybody? And my point is always that, like, just because it was the dumbest fucks walking the planet committing the coup doesn't mean that it wasn't a coup or a putsch, to be more precise. Yes, it was the dumbest fucks walking the planet trying to pull it off. Short bus people, if you will. I don't particularly like the term. It is ableist.